the way you get to that is that you start paying attention to the left brain. Again, the left brain is that part that keeps up that running commentary. It talks and talks and talks. When you hear that voice talking and labeling and complaining and saying, I like this and I don't like that, comparing and judging, that's your left brain. You find that part of yourself and you watch it. Because that part of yourself is the part that's saying, oh, I deserve this treat. Or, you bad person, you shouldn't have eaten that. Okay? So, in order to find that space where you're clear of that, where you move beyond that and you transcend that, you must watch the emotion that you feel concerning that. You must notice when you're sliding from one side to the other, and you must hold yourself in the center. And the way you do that is to watch the emotion. Now, something really interesting happens when you begin to watch that emotion. The emotion is the pain body. The voice talking in your head is your left brain. The person watching is your authentic self. If you have trouble finding the person watching and observing, then I'll have some exercises later on for that. If you keep trying, you'll find it eventually on your own. But what you do is, whatever you're feeling, say you're laying in your bed and you're really hurting inside because you feel ugly and fat because you let yourself down again. And there's that shame and that humiliation that comes from that weakness. So what you do is you simply watch that. You watch that in your mind and you watch it in your body. The part watching you is your real self. It's your authentic self. It's the part connected to deity that we talked about in previous videos. Some interesting things happen as you watch. As you watch, the left brain will try harder and harder and harder to keep you from watching. It will say ugly things. It will try ugly things to get you to buy into the emotion and to react, as opposed to just sit there and silently watch. If you are watching and your voice that's watching is saying things that have anything to do with judging or criticizing or labeling, then that's not the real you. That's your left brain again interfering. Just watch. Watch without judgment. Think of it as looking at an innocent child who thinks they're a bad child, but they're really not. And how much compassion you feel for that little child. Okay, so you should just be watching without judgment. Just be watching without interpreting or labeling anything. Just observe the pain. Observe the trauma that you feel. Something interesting will begin to happen. You will notice it in a specific part of your body. One exercise of watching might cause it to be felt in your solar plexus. Another might feel it to be in your heart. Another might hurt in your joints. Okay, so this is your pain body. Watch and pay attention to where that pain is, because it will tell you things later about which chakras you need to clear out and what kind of work you need to do to get deep inside and clear out the negative things in your life so that you can find your power. So that's your assignment for this video, is whenever you find yourself teeter-tottering back and forth between anger at some aspect and or feeling sorry for yourself, there could be other opposites also. That's just seems to be the one that I encounter the most. Notice opposites in your life. If one day you're really high and happy and the next day you're really low and down, think about the mechanism that's causing that and find it. And look for other opposites in your life where you swing between the two, like on the teeter-totter in the graph. And that's your assignment, is to find that. Allow yourself to feel those emotions. Do not try to assuage those emotions with alcohol or drugs or calling your friend or complaining or acting out or screaming or throwing things. Make sure that you just sit down somewhere quiet, can get alone, go for a walk maybe, go to your bedroom, go somewhere where no one can bother you, and be with that stuff. Now, It feels really ugly. It's very, very frightening. It's extremely painful. And in fact, the longer you do it, the more painful it becomes. But rest assured, from personal experience, I can tell you it will dissipate. It will dissipate. Now, the first thing you're going to notice when it begins to dissipate is this tiny little spark somewhere in your body or somewhere in your mind that feels just this like little bit of happiness. It's like a crack opening into the spirit world and letting light shining in. And let me tell you, when the pain body or the left brain notices that, be prepared for it to really try and take over again, because the left brain wants to be in charge and wants to be in control. So be prepared for that to happen. Know that it's going to happen, and just keep watching. And you can say to that left brain, I am not you, and you are not me. And you can try as hard as you want to, but I'm watching. I am watching this emotion, and I'm watching this pain. And you can't stop me. You can actually have a dialogue like that. Just make sure that it's not the left brain tricking you again. If it's negative, it's the left brain. If it's compassionate and patient and serene, it's your real self. So that's your assignment. Allow yourself to feel some pain and stay with it. Don't react. Don't allow your fight or flight response to take charge of you. Just stay with it and watch it. The first few times you do this, it feels like hell. It feels like you are going to die. Be prepared for that. It feels like your life is going to end. It feels like if you don't run, if you don't fight, if you don't scream, if you don't lash out, it feels like your life and your sanity will come undone. But it's not true. It's an illusion. So stick with it and just watch. Again, as in a previous video, I did talk about if you need professional help. If you feel like if you can't stay there and watch that emotion, if you find that you jump up and must go do something, either fighting aspect of your pain body or the flight aspect of the pain body, and feelings of suicidal impulses, those are flight. You're flying away from the physical world, flying away from the pain. If you find yourself moving in that direction and you have no control, that is when you really need to get help from a therapist, okay? If you can stay with the emotion and understand that you don't need to fight and you don't need to flee, and you can watch that emotion, you don't have to worry about how painful it is, because it will clear out. It will go away as you watch it. That is your first step to getting control of your life, is to clear out those shadows, those negative, unseen energies that cling to you from your past. And sometimes those are energies that other people have put on you, and that's another video for another time. But do that work. Number 1, find your opposites. Number 2, notice the emotions attached to them. Number 3, go ahead and stay with those emotions, wallow in them a little. Watch the emotions. Don't allow yourself to flee or fight or act out. Just watch. Ignore the left brain when it tries to trick you into not watching. It tries to trick you into fighting or fleeing. It's going to tell you lies. You can say, I'm not you, you're not me, I'm watching. And then notice where the pain is in your physical body and watch it dissipate, and watch that little crack of light start coming in, and you'll feel just a tiny bit of joy down in the bottom of your soul. And that's the beginning of your whole world changing. Namaste.